So we're set, we're good. Are you seeing my PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
If at any point in time you are not seeing anything on your screen, please let me know because the session should have something.
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, so just let me know because sometimes I might click something here and I would not notice if I'm still sharing. Perfect. Okay, so hit me with the good stuff, ladies. I have this activity where I want us to reminisce, you know, back in the days, how it was back then before this internet was a part of our day-to-day living. Okay, so what I will do is I have a little random wheel here, so it's kind of like a relay, and I will spin it, and whosoever's name pops up, I have a question and I will ask you the question. It's non-threatening questions, right? Nothing personal, nothing private. It's just, again, to reminisce the good moments. So I want you to hit me with the good stuff. Okay, so let me drag my wheel here. If a name pops up and the participant is not present, then we'll just spin the wheel again, okay? So let me click here and let's see who's the first one. Miss Patsy. Okay. Miss Patsy, let's see what question you get. So the first question, what fun activities you used to do in your younger years? What would you consider fun activities?
You're muted, you're muted.
You're muted, Miss Patsy. We're not hearing you.
Unmute, unmute.
Seems like Miss Patsy is trying to figure out how to unmute. There. Okay. We'll get back to you, Miss Patsy, okay? So we'll just bring the wheel here again meanwhile.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just lost my screen like yesterday morning and I couldn't.
Okay. Glad to have you back. Yes.
Okay, what fun activities you used to do?
Yes.
Oh, we used to play hopscotch and top and skipping. Yep, that's what we used to do.
So that would be the fun activities. And you would normally have friends, family, or neighbors?
Yes, friends and neighbors, yeah.
So as always, a company. I always had company to do things. Okay, great. Sounds like fun. I mean, children nowadays probably don't know what hopscotch means.
That's right.
What's it called? Okay, great. Let's see who else is going to pop out on the wheel. Miss Lillian. Miss Lillian, you're here. Let me know if you're present, because I see you on the screen, but.
Good morning, I'm here.
Okay, Miss Lillian, good morning. So your question is, what positive effect has technology brought along, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it has brought us like more closer to our families abroad, and we can contact them more often. And it gives you a way to keep yourself busy, you know, by looking and reading up about things. And before technology was so much, we couldn't call so often to our relatives because we had to pay so much.
Right.
So that is the positive activity it has brought along for me.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Let us spin the wheel once more. Miss Corrine, I don't think Miss Corrine has joined the session yet, so I will just spin it again. Miss Lillian. Okay, Miss Lillian is here. And your question is, how did you cope with stress when you were younger? What were your stress coping methods?
To be truthful, I used to say when people say like afterwards, no, because first when I was small, you never heard about stress. And I used to say, what is that word stress? What is people are talking about? So I really don't know what is stress. I don't think I had any stress.
You need to share the secret for living a stress-free life, Lillian.
You know what that word?
Okay, thanks for sharing once more. Let's see, Miss Patsy. Okay, since it seems to be a smaller group, I'll just select a question for Miss Lorraine and one for Miss Des so that we all have a chance, right? So Miss Lorraine, this one is for you now. What is something you wish would have remained the same?
This social gathering, I know it's impossible, but even though as families we still get together at times, but I wish that would have stayed the same.
Okay. You wish that we still had that ability to.
Yes, families with families and friends, yes.
Okay, that's good. Thanks for sharing. Miss Des, this one's for you. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What were your weekend plans like in your earlier years, your younger years? Because we're still young, right? What were your weekend plans like?
Going to church.
So when you say
We used to go to church on in Friday night, Friday evening. We used to have Bible study. Saturday we go to the church, and then we have Bible study. The children them and adults class. To church and meet with really friends. But now different things. Now you can't associate yourself because everybody think about Corona.
right, right. So church was like an event or a social event.
Yes, we used to have a social, like maybe every 2 weeks. Social with somebody bring garnacha, somebody else bring juice, somebody else bring this, somebody else bring that. And that's the way we used to enjoy as children. That's for me, I think back. And then you used to have movie nights.
Okay, movie nights.
If you don't go to church, you can't go to no movie. That time it used to be matinee. When I think back about them matinee men. Matinee back then, like, no, they cut out everything. That's why everything they wire right now.
Okay.
Because when they used to have fun time when I go to matinee. Mama buy you either papa and your chips. I used to enjoy it. Then back then it used to be enjoyable as a family, you understand me?
Okay.
Yes.
It was a family event going to the movies.
Oh yes.
Okay, sounds like fun. Your weekends were really busy.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Ms. Des. Miss Corrine, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
It is.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So Miss Karine, what about you? What were your weekend plans like back in the younger years?
Well, I could remember that on Saturday we had you when you say younger, you mean like childhood or adolescent or what?
Either one, childhood or adolescent, whichever you
Okay.
feel like
Um,
sharing.
childhood. On Saturday you had your chores, right? You had to sweep and mop the house. I'll the part that was staying around the linoleum. And then on Saturdays they would wash our hair, and then all day your hair would be left out until evening when they're ready to comb it. It was a tangled mess, and it usually brought tears. And then my older sister would cornrow so tight that you'd end up getting hair seed. But Saturday was also the day that my mom would bake bread and bun, and on Sundays I had to go to mass because I was attending a Catholic school, even though I wasn't Catholic. Then after mass, I would go to Sunday school. And then after Sunday school, my mom would join us for the adult Sunday school. That would go up to midday. Then we would go home. After dinner, they would put us to take a nap. And by 5:30, you have to go to Young People's Endeavor. That's a youth meeting. You get home just in time to have supper and go back to church for 7 o'clock. And then church would go until 9 or after 9. So all day Sunday was church. And
Okay,
that
okay.
weekend, we only went to matinee on special occasions like Easter or Christmas or
Mm.
maybe 10th of September.
Oh, wow. Your weekends were all busy. You didn't know what it was to have some time for Netflix. There wasn't Netflix at that time, or Facebook or WhatsApp to entertain yourself. So that's very, very valuable, especially when you had the chance to spend time with your family. It was all about family back then. Right? It was all about family back then. Okay, great. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. You know, you give me a little bit of insight as to how it was back then, and as well as to your thoughts as to what's going on this morning. I want to share with you a quote that I found online yesterday while I was doing a little bit of research for this session, right? And it's this one. It says, the pandemic has created this sort of enforced requirement for people to be more intentional about how to use technology. And let me share with you why this really hit me, in that it made me realize that as younger people, we used to use the internet for research, for work, for entertainment purposes like Facebook, WhatsApp, Netflix, right? But with this pandemic and the fact that for those of us that still have our parents around that are not as literate with the internet, we were forced to be more intentional in the fact that we were no longer just superficially using the internet. We started using it more for connection. Right? So it's more for connection with family, having these Zoom family reunions. Even some of us may have joined a funeral or wake virtually. Right? So we found more intention, more value to using the internet than we had before. Right? And that's probably something that we probably wouldn't have done any at all should it not have been for this pandemic and forcing us to go that way as to using the internet, right? So I appreciate, I mean, if I was to find a silver lining about the pandemic, that's something that I appreciate. It made us more intentional in using the technology, right? So that's just what I wanted to share before we jump into the continuation of this session. Okay, so let me just proceed here. Okay, so ladies, just a quick minute recap. Please tell me one thing that we had touched on yesterday as it relates to the introduction of the internet itself, the concept of the internet, and to email or email addresses, right? Feel free to share with me something that recap. This is just for us to remember or give a little bit of a summary as to what we had discussed or covered yesterday in the session. Yes, Ms. Lorraine.
Certain internet.
One of the things we covered was the address bar.
The address bar. Okay. What about the address bar, Ms. Lorraine?
Whatever we need to read or do research, we could type in the address in the blue line that will be highlighted.
Okay, yes. Right, that's to enter the address of the website, right?
Yes.
Miss Corinne, as your hand is up.
Yes, I remember you saying that the first part of the URL is the username, and first part of the email address is the username. The second part is the domain.
That's correct. That's the parts of the email address, right? You need to have a username and the domain name. In other words, whoever owns that email service. Okay, great. Thank you. Ms. Des, I know you were saying something. Can you go ahead and share?
Why not choose a personal injury firm that's consistent?
How to surf the internet.
How to surf the internet. Okay. Anything in specific on how to surf the internet?
With this URL.
Using the URL, correct. Okay. Anybody else wants to share a point that they remember? Yes, Ms. Patsy, go ahead.
It touched on the different search engines, the Yahoo, the MSN, the Google, Bing.
Right.
I think there was
Those are
one
the
more.
common search engines.
Common ones, yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you. Ms. Lillian?
What we had learned also about the entering the name on the bar and Google. What's Google is for, google.com, and the www.world.com. I didn't know what the www used to be. You know, I know it's www.world.com.
Right, it's the World Wide Web.
World Wide Web.
www means, right? Okay, thanks for the quick recap, ladies. And that now means we can proceed into picking up where we left yesterday. And that would be setting up an email account, right? As we went through the session, I realized, or I know I had asked some of you, most of you already have an email address. But I want to clarify, there's a difference between an email address and an email account, right? And this evolved as time came by, and the development of these applications like Facebook and WhatsApp and online banking came about as well. You know, everything was just online. These services were being digitalized, and the internet had to have some way of identifying us, as I had shared earlier, right? So that would be our email account. That is our identifier. It's no longer just an email address that we needed, but we needed an email account, right? So that email account is, as I had mentioned, take, for example, your social security number. Right? If you want any services and to verify your identity, they sometimes use your social security number to verify that this person is who they say they are. So the same thing with an email account. We create an email account to access different services, different applications online, okay? So for all of us that have an email account already or an email address, by default, we have created an email account. Okay, so you will notice that, or if someone had set up your WhatsApp and your Facebook account, for example, they had to enter your email address, okay? So the email address will be the same for these applications. The only thing that will be different is the password to access these applications, okay? Point to note though, it doesn't have to be different, but it is recommended for it to be different because then that prevents someone from accessing your entire set of information. Okay, so it doesn't have to be separate password, different password, but it is recommended for you to have a different password for all of these different applications. Okay, and the reason for that is because, say for example, you have 5 houses. You don't want to put the same key lock on those 5 houses because if someone finds that key, you can access all those different properties with that one key. And again, internet safety, okay? So moving on with setting up an email account. Why do we want an email account? This is merely just a review of the points that we had already discussed, right? So we want an email account to send and receive emails to our friends and families, or if we use it for business purposes, we use that as well. And we also need an email address to set up accounts for online services. And I have here, for example, shopping. For online shopping, you need an account. For banking services, you need an account. And to access social media, you also need an account, right? So these are some of the reasons why it's important to set up an email account. For these accounts, one can use any of these popular online services. So we had already discussed these common email providers like Google Mail, Yahoo Mail, and Outlook Mail as well. So these are some of the common online services, okay? Do these icons look familiar to you? You had seen these ones before? The Gmail icon, the Yahoo, and this one's for Outlook, right? If I can share with you, when it comes to the internet and these websites and accessing these applications, a lot of these, the interface, right, which is the home page or what the user sees, the icons, a lot of that is targeting the younger generation. Right? So sometimes and that is why we have challenge in our senior citizens being able to use these applications and these websites without issues, right? So you'll notice that a lot of the things that they have are just icons. They lack the use of text a lot. So you will be seeing a lot of these icons on the websites or while you're on Facebook or the internet, right? So it's just a matter of knowing what the icons mean. And once you know what it means, then it's easy for you to just follow through with the rest of the icons. So this one's setting up an email account. Okay. If you did not know I want to share with you what type of information was required when your email address was open or created, or when your email account was created, right? And this is what was used to create your own, your unique identity, or your unique identity online, right? So if you have a Gmail or you have a Yahoo, these email providers have one, your full name. So they have your first name and last name. They have your personal information, which includes your date of birth. They have your gender. And lately, a lot of them are asking for a phone number. Right, so these are personal information that these service providers are requesting for you to be able to create an email address. Now, whatever information is provided or shared here does not have to be correct. Right? Upon us opening our email account, I might have said my name is John, is Jane Doe. There's no way that they can confirm that whoever is creating the account is Jane Doe. Right? So that is one of the issues when it comes to internet safety, but we will talk about internet safety on Friday. Okay, but just note that this information is what these email providers have. And also, when your email was created, you had to select your email address, which as Miss I think it's Miss Corinne had shared, that it has to have a username and the domain name, right? So that was your email address, as well as a password. How many of you remember your email password? Remember, not have it written down somewhere. How many of you remember, like you can get it out of your memory and enter it? Okay, Miss Lorraine, Miss Lillian, how about you?
I can remember it.
You can remember your password.
Yes, ma'am, I can remember it.
Okay, and do you think it's a strong password? As in, yes.
Well, I don't know. I made it simple so I could remember it.
Okay, that's good. So it is recommended that when you create your password, in the event you have to create another one, right? Not use your date of birth, not use your name, or do not use any information or piece of information that other people know already. Right? Maybe like your pet name or your nickname or the date of birth of your first child. Those are things that are easily guessable by other people, right? But yes, unfortunately, creating a password is really complex because one, it has to be one that you can remember easily. But at the same time, it has to be a difficult one for others to be able to remember. Okay, but as long as you remember your password, then we're good to go. Okay, so that was just a little bit overview on email accounts and why do we use email accounts, right? So we needed to access a lot of different things online. So we'll jump in now to sending and receiving emails. Perhaps most of you are familiar with sending and receiving emails, but I will just go through it. And as I am going through it, what I will do is I will share my email. And if you have any questions while I am going through it, please feel free to let me know. And I will want to be able to address that at the time, okay? So when we're sending emails to family or friends, first of all, we have to have their email address and the correct email address. We don't want to send the wrong email, the email to the wrong person, right? Two, we should have a subject, which is a general topic of the conversation or the email that we're sending, okay? Three, we have the ability to send pictures, videos, and any other documents that we want to send with the email. It gives us that facility. And lastly, that will allow for us to send that email or send that message with the speed of lightning, right? Again, it depends on the speed of the internet that the person has, but it will definitely be as faster than the postal services, if I can say that. So receiving emails. Okay, let me jump from here, from the PowerPoint presentation to the actual email account. Let me open an email account here. Are you seeing my screen? It's no longer the PowerPoint, right? It's a web browser that I opened. Okay, great. So as I mentioned, this is a web browser. Remember what is a web browser? Okay, so
Search.
Sorry, Ms. Lillian, go ahead.
The browser, you said.
We can
The web
search.
search.
Right, right. So remember, this is the door to the internet. Anything I want to do to a website or search or access my email, I go to a web browser. Okay, and this web browser is what we call Microsoft Edge. It's one from Microsoft. So I want to access I have a Gmail account. Okay. So again, remember, the internet makes it so easy for us to access information. So all I have to enter here is Gmail. And you notice it gives me different options where I can select. It's trying to guess what I want to do with my Gmail. So I want to do here Gmail login. Okay. And then it says, okay, you want Gmail login. What do you want? Gmail sign up. You want to see your sent mail or your inbox. I want to see my inbox. I want to see if I received any email, correct? So I select there. You see this, what is popping up on my screen? Okay, so that can be a nuisance sometimes, but in layman's terms, what that means is that I am using a Microsoft service, which is the web browser, but I am trying to open a Google service, right? So that's where it's clashing. Like, I'm not using a Google Chrome to open Google Mail. I'm using Microsoft to open Google. So those two are two different service providers, right? So they try to work along, but at the same time, they try to encourage you to use their service. So you might see things like these popping up once in a while. So here I will just select, take me to the latest Gmail. It is asking me, do you want to open your Gmail because of the different browsers? I am like, yes, just take me to my Gmail. I'm not really thinking about connections right now. Okay, so what happened here? You notice that I am able to open my email without having to enter my username or my password. That is because I entered it one time and I selected the option to save it for the future, for future reference, right? It is good and bad at the same time. The good part is if you have a personal device, something that only you will be using, it's okay to save your password, right? So that at any point in time, you want to access your email, you have your tablet, you have your phone, you want to access your email, you just click on Gmail and it opens up, right? The bad part is if you're working on a device or you're accessing your email on a shared computer and you save your password, whoever has access to that computer can see your email, right? Again, that depends. I know sometimes as family, we share computers and devices, and it's okay if they see our emails, right? There's nothing threatening there. The problem comes in the problem comes in when, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't happen, but for some reason, someone comes into your house, right? Some burglar takes away your device and they get access to your email through that device. There's so many things they can do with your email address, right? So if you all remember your password, then it's recommended to not save your password on your device, right? Logging into Gmail, let me just log out from here. Let me show you. It's quite quick and easy. So when I access my Gmail, it says you choose an account that you want to open. So I will select my account. And then it says, okay, just simply enter your password, right? That's the one you want to access. Enter your password. I will enter my password. And I click next. And it gives me access to my email. It's just that one password that we have to enter. So if you do remember your password, it's better to not click on save your password. It's easier and safer that way. Okay, so this is my Gmail. This is my inbox, what I call my inbox. So here is where I will see all my emails received, right? Someone sent me emails. So my inbox is quite busy. Sorry about that, right? It's quite busy here. And you will notice that with these email service providers, your view of your inbox will be changing slightly every so often. Okay, so what you see right now, maybe in a couple of months, it will be slightly different. Shouldn't be much of a big difference. But, okay. So I have opened my inbox and I want to view my emails, right? How can I know when an email is new? When it's a new email that I received. Any of you ladies know how to identify a new email? Yes, Miss Lorraine?
Usually it would give you a message and it would have the letter M, mail. It says mail.
The letter M, mail, right? Okay. That is if you don't have your inbox open.
Yes, yes.
In this case, with my inbox open, how can I tell if it's a new email?
It's highlighted.
Highlighted, right? I probably think you mean it's bolded.
Bold, that's right.
Right, it's bold. So if you notice here, there are some emails, like this second one, for example. It is bold, so that means this is either it's a new email that I have not opened. It's an unread email, okay? So I want to see what that email is about. I simply click on it. But before we open it, can you see once I hover my mouse over the email or the name, it kind of pops out on your screen. Right? So that means you're selecting that email. And there are different things that you can do just from this line here. Right? So the first one you notice, you can select this email. If I select, let me click here. Once I select, you will notice up here some different actions that you can do with this specific email. So if I unselect this, if I remove the click, it disappears. Right? So if we want to know what all we can do with a specific email, just click here and it will tell you. I can archive this email. I can label it as spam. I can delete it if it's something that, you know, I don't really want to keep. I want to mark it as read. I want to snooze it. If it's an action point, you want a reminder later on that of the email, you can snooze it. And so many other actions, right? So whenever you have time, you can just play around with it and see what all you can do with these emails. So I will unselect this. And then the next icon says, it is this little star icon. Let me see if I can increase the view here a little bit. Okay, yeah. Okay. So there's this little star icon, right? It's grayed out, but as soon as I move my mouse over it, it stands out. It pops out here. So what does this star mean? Any of you know what the star means? What is it there for?
Can I take a guess?
Please do so. Take a guess.
Perhaps it means you'll read it later.
Okay, that could be a description for that category.
I would say unread, that you haven't read it.
That you have not read it?
Yes.
Not specifically, but this star means that you are labeling this specific email as important. There's a reason why you're sticking a star to the email there. So that
as
in
what?
the future, as important.
Okay.
Right? Because if you notice my email, I remember you will use your email address for so many things. It's not just sending and receiving emails, right? You will sign up for, you will use it for Facebook, for your online banking, for WhatsApp. So when these service providers send you email, it will be to the same email address. So there will be some important emails that you want to label as important. So it's easier for you to go back to these important emails and not having it lost in all these other promotional emails or newsletters that are not of priority. Okay. It's like your mail, like your regular mail. When you receive regular mail, you sort them out, right? Maybe these are for bills, these are for correspondence, this one's insurance. Yes, Miss Corrine, you had a question. I see your hand is up. You can unmute your mic and ask your question if you still have your question, Miss Corrine. But yes, so this is to label your email as important, right? So let's say, for example, this is an important event I want to participate, but at the moment, I really don't have time to go through the email thoroughly. So I will label it as important. I click on the star. You notice the star now turns yellow, okay? So I have labeled this as important. I want to go back to see all the emails that I have labeled as important. Notice on the left-hand side of your screen, this here, where it says start. I will click on that folder and I will move my mouse away. So now I can see all those emails that I had labeled as important. And here is where I can see and find. It's less emails to search. You're looking for something very important, right? So these are just labels that you can put to your email. That you can search them later, or if you want to go back to a specific email.
I want you to understand
That you can.
that may be wrong, but you gave.
And you can, if for some reason you did it by mistake, you selected the star, you can always click on it again to remove the star. And what it does, you see, it now removes it from my important folder, from the email, the folder of important emails. Okay. Okay, so I will go back now to my inbox. And to do that, always go to the left-hand side. To the left-hand side, you'll notice where your folders are. Right, you see, if I move my mouse, it disappears, but I just need to move my mouse to the right and it comes back. And I want to go back to my inbox, which is your mail, not your mail, sorry, your main email folder for received emails, right? So I go to my inbox again, I move my mouse and I go back to this email. So we have this star, the important label. This is another label. It says, click to teach Gmail. This conversation is important, right? So this is another label that you can click for labeling important emails, right? And as just the same way we start email addresses, you will notice that you can look for these emails as well on the left-hand side. Look at the little icon here. Right? Remember, keep in mind the icons always mean the same thing, right? So this icon means important. So I will remove it again. You can always click on it and remove it. And also to the farther right-hand side of the same email message, if I just move my mouse slightly to the right, you will notice additional icons, right? These little icons. So what these are simply other actions that you can do with this specific email or this specific message, right? So I can archive the message. Probably it's an email that I might want to get back to farther on, not at the moment. So I can archive it. I don't need it anymore. I can delete it. Here is where you can mark it as read, right? So once I click mark as read, it unbolds the email, right? And if I click it, it says mark as read. It bolds it back again, right? And here is this snooze button as well. Okay, there are so many other things you can do with an email, a specific email, but we'll just go over the basics of the inbox, right? And to open the email, to actually read the email, you just need to click on it and see the message, right? Here is where you see the email. So in this case, this is what I received in the email. Okay. When I open the email, whenever we open the email, you will notice that at the very top of the email, you have actions that you can do with that specific email. It's the same actions that we saw previously. And if you see at the top, it says back to inbox, which is back to my main email inbox. Archive, spam, delete, and all these other tasks, right? One of the important ones I want you to note is the reply button. This is the reply button here on the right-hand side of the screen, right? Do you see the reply? And what does that button do? What do you think that button does, the reply button? Why is it there?
To reply to the email.
To reply to the email, right? And let me just click on reply. Here. What the reply button does, right? You no longer have to enter the email address again. And you no longer have to tell Gmail what the subject will be about because you're simply replying. So Gmail understands that it's to the same person referencing the same topic. Okay, so all we need to do is click on reply, type our message, type our reply message. Okay, my caps lock is on. Thank you for the. And if you notice that the internet is getting smarter every time and it's trying to guess what you want to type. Right, so in this case, Google guessed right that I wanted to type thank you for your email. So I just press tab to finish the email. Right? These things are getting smarter by the day. So I type in my message and that's it. I click send and my email is sent. Right? That's how quickly we can send an email, by sending a reply. It's the same thing as sending an email. Okay. Any question regarding receiving email and checking your inbox? We're good to go? It's pretty much
Yes.
a quick recap. Okay, great. Move on now to,
Excuse me.
yes, Miss Lillian, tell me.
This is something new I learned. I used to go down to the end of my email to do the reply.
To the end, okay, let me go back to my inbox.
Yes. So I realized now that on the side there I can do it.
Yes, from the top. That's why I wanted to just let you know that things change often. So sometimes what you used to do before has been improved and made more efficient, if I can say it that way, more efficient. But at the same time, you know, it confuses users. Right? It confuses users a little bit, but it's just getting used to it again. But yes, that's how it used to be. Okay. So back to sending emails now. How do we send emails? Okay. So by default, Gmail or most of these emails, once you log into your email, they take you directly to your inbox, which is where you receive emails. But if you want to send an email, in this example, let us, again, to the left-hand side of the screen is where all these icons are. If I drag my mouse to the left, we look for the compose button, compose. So this is where we're going to write our email. So I will click on compose and the compose message box pops up, right? Which is this one here. And it looks very simple. It just has, oh, sorry. Let me pop it up back again. It just asks you who you're sending it to. Remember, we need to have their email address, what the topic is about, and of course, your message. Okay. So recipients 2. Who wants to give me their email address? Can I get an email address so I can send an email here?
PATJOAK, patjoak@gmail.com.
This is email. So this is my subject and my message. Again, it's assuming what I want to see, right? But this time Google is guessing wrong. This time it got it right. For joining. I type my message and I am ready to send it. But in this case, I want to send an attachment. There's something else that I want to send to my recipient, right? It's not just the message. So if we look at the bottom of this dialog box, there are different actions that I can do with this email that I'm sending. So let me just go over some of these icons. Again, remember, mostly icons. They don't have text, just to understand what these mean. So this paperclip is for the attaching of files. Okay, the paperclip one. And you will see this paperclip icon in a lot of different websites or emails or even on the applications. When you see this icon, it means attachment. It's either to upload an attachment or to add an attachment to whatever it is you're working with, right? So I need to look for this icon, the attached files. Once I click on it, what it does, it takes me to my computer's folder, wherever I have saved documents or pictures or information, right? So I want to look for the document that I want to send Miss Patsy. I want to send her a picture. And I go to where I have my picture saved. Seems I don't have any pictures on my desktop. Let me see if there's any documents. I have my Zoom documents here. If there's any captures. Okay, Miss Bud. I need to find a document here to send you. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have any documents saved here on my computer, right? But should I have had one, I will only select the document. Let me see if I have downloads here. Okay, I have one here. So what I do is once I select the document that I want to send or the picture or the video, I select it and I click open. Okay. Once I click open, you will notice now, this is the whatever it is that I attached. In this case, it was a PowerPoint presentation. It could be a video. It could be a Word document. It could be a picture. It pretty much allows us to attach a lot of different things, right? So, but just to verify that it attached, it should be within your message box. And in this case, it is bright blue. Digital literacy for seniors, PowerPoint. So that means I have attached my document. And now I'm ready to send it. I'm ready to send my email. I go ahead and click send. So message has been sent, and I can now feel secure and have that assurance that Ms. Patsy has received my email. Okay. So that is how we attach files to emails. Okay. Any question regarding composing email or sending emails? You pretty much have that ability or that tool to send an email. Okay.
Some
Let me just lower here this and okay. Let me just show you one more thing, which is
could I ask something?
sure, go ahead, Miss Lillian. Sorry.
If usually like when I'm doing my email and you're writing and so it would just disappear, how could you bring it back to where you was?
The screen would disappear.
Yes, whatever I was writing would just disappear. Whatever I'm writing or typing in would just disappear. You know, like sometimes when you bring the text and it will just disappear. So how could you bring it back?
The only reason I could think of as to why the text itself would disappear is if it was deleted.
No, I didn't click on delete.
Mm-hmm.
I did not click on delete, and it happens a lot. Or even if I'm writing a text in the computer, like the words would go. I don't know what would cause it. Is there a way to save it while you're writing?
Not the emails.
Oh, okay.
Not the emails.
Okay.
But what let me try something here. If I am trying to send, say again, I'm gonna take Miss Patsy's email again since it's already here. Test email. Say for example, I like I said, right? Good morning. I am sending you a package. And it disappears. You said it disappears. As in this is removed or the entire compose box disappears?
Words that I had written, the words that I had written would disappear.
So if this is deleted, I'm not able to tell another reason why it would disappear if it's not deleted. But just in case, right, let me see, because there is what we call the drafts folder, which is, say for example, in this case, I started writing my email to Miss Patsy, and I remember that I still need to finish a document for me to send her, and I'm not ready to send the email just. Right?
You go to draft?
You go to drafts, right?
Oh, you go to draft and bring it back.
Right, you see drafts here?
Yes, and then you bring it back.
Bring it back, right. So these, if you notice, this is my draft folder. These are all the emails that I did not finish sending.
Okay.
So you can check there to see if your emails.
All right, I'll try that next time. And then I'll check that to see if it's there so I could bring it back.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So sometimes we're typing and it disappears.
Yes. And on the text too, where you go on the text to get it back?
Here?
I always wonder where it goes when you're texting pop and everything and you have to start all over again.
Yeah, well, that's what I think it's because the if the text is deleted.
There's not draft on text.
No, there's not draft on text, but there is this. If you notice at the bottom, if I scroll my mouse all the way to the bottom,
Yes.
this is little arrow,
Yes, ma'am.
that's the undo button. So we can try that to see
Okay.
if for some reason it was deleted.
Come back. All right. I'll try it again and see.
So hopefully one of these things can help minimize
Yes.
the situation from happening again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for asking, Ms. Lillian. You know, we all have different experiences with emails, so it's good to know what others are experiencing in the event it happens to us. Okay, any other question, ladies, before I move on to the last part of today's content? Okay, so one last thing regarding emails is the attachments, right? So I showed you how to send an attachment. But now, what if we receive the email and it has an attachment? What do we do with it? And we want to see it, but every time we want to see it, we have to go into the email and search for that email again. Okay, so to minimize having to do all those steps, we can download that attachment and save it somewhere where we can access it anytime we want. Right? So first of all, how do we know an email has an attachment? From my inbox, if I scroll down here, on the right-hand side, say I will take this example, my Digicel e-bill notification, right? If you take a look at this one, let me just zoom in a little bit here. It has this little, if I hover over it, it will remove it. It has this little paperclip icon to the right, correct? Do you see it? Okay, so that means that email comes with an attachment before I even open it. It gives me a heads up that there's something that you should try to see there because it's an attachment, right? And not all the emails have it. But if I continue scrolling down, I am able to see which other email comes with an attachment. Right, so this one, the other one that says Smart Stream comes with an attachment. Okay, so that is how we can see from the get-go if an email comes with an attachment. Okay, so I'll go back to this Digicel one here. I open that email and indeed it has the attachment, right? To see the attachment, we scroll down to the bottom of the email. So if you notice here, it's the email message. And the attachment is here, okay? You can choose to open the attachment from here. Okay, I just move my mouse, I just hover over it, and it already highlights that attachment, right? So I can open it. I can click from here and then it directly opens that PDF file. This is what we call a PDF file, right? Let me click close to go back to the email. So I click close. But I want to download this bill so that in the future, or I want to keep it in my records, but I don't want to come to this email every time. So what I do is I hover over it. Again, I just come here and you'll notice this down arrow. That is a download icon. Again, you might see not only in emails, but in other websites. As long as you see that arrow, that downward arrow, it means download. So there's a file for you to download and save. So all I do is click download. And this is quick. If you notice down at the screen at the bottom, you will see this little icon here and the name of the file, right? This means that either the file has downloaded or it is downloaded. Can you ladies see?
Yes.
Okay. So that means my whatever file was attached is already downloaded, right? And right there as well, there are 3 dots. That's what we call the ellipses. The 3 dots, I click on these 3 dots, and what that gives me is action points that I can do with this document, right? It says I can open it. These are complex options, so no need to look at those, right? Just, you can open it. You can show in folder. Show in folder means it will take me to my download folder. Our computers come with a download folder. So by default, any folder or any document that we download, it will go to that specific location. Okay? Or you can delete the file. If you downloaded it by mistake, you can delete the file, right? In this case, I will select show in folder. Okay, I want to see where it is saved right now. So I go and click show in folder. And what it does, it takes me, let me drag this here. So this is where it sent me. You notice this is my downloads folder and it's right here. Right? So if in the future, I want to see what the bill was, I can always go to my computer and look for my downloads folder and the bill will be right there. Okay. There are other ways on how to go ahead and save these documents on your computer, but that is for another time. Right, but this is one of the methods on how you can download attachments to your computer. So let me just exit this. I will close here on the X and go back to my email. Okay. Once I download it, it does not mean I am deleting that attachment from the email. It still is here. Okay, so it is not removing it from your email. It is just simply helping us to save these documents in a way that is easier for us to access. Okay. So let me just go back to the left-hand side of the screen. These are different tabs or views of your email inbox, right? Of your email account, if I can put it that way. So once I hover over the left-hand side, just move my mouse slightly. I have the inbox view. So again, if I click here, it takes me to my entire inbox, right? So this is the original location. I hover back again. If I want to see only those emails that I starred, remember that I had labeled as starred, I can click here and it takes me to only those emails that I starred. There's the snoozed emails. I don't think I have anyone labeled as snoozed, so it's empty. There are important emails, the ones I labeled as important, right? And of course, if I want to see the emails that I have sent, I can always go to the sent box or sent folder and view those that I sent. Okay. So these are the ones that I have sent. And there are additional folders. If you scroll down, if you go down with the scroll bar, you will notice different categories of emails. Okay. So it just depends on what you use your email for. That will determine how busy your email inbox would be when you access these, right? Okay, so let me just go back here. And so we focus on attachment. We saw attaching a file. We did downloading an attachment as well. Okay. Let me just. Okay. So any questions, ladies, regarding what we discussed today?
Yes, I would like to know if I have bills in my email inbox. How do I open a folder named bills and put all of them in there?
Okay. Very good. Here. Okay, let me take this digital bill example again. Okay. Okay. So I will show you a quick way, and it's not that difficult or challenging, right? To do this, what we call categorization of our emails, right? So yes, you have bills, for example, you have probably newsletters or news related articles, health, recipes, different categories that you want to label or categorize your emails. So to do that, we select the email that we want to save into a specific category. And in this case, I want to select this Digis e-bill notification, right? So I click on that email, and remember, there are action points at the top, right? As soon as I select this email, these action points come up. And I want to look for labels, okay? So that would be a little bit down the middle. We look for labels. So I click on labels, and it's asking me, what do you want to label it as? It already has some default labels, right? So Gmail already provides you with some labels. And in this case, it has it as updates, social, forums, promotions, but it's none of these that we want. So I will select create new. I want to create a new one. So it prompts you to enter the name of the label. What do we want to call it? Say bills, right? I will label it as bills. Okay, I go ahead and create. I click on create. Now you notice on that same email line, there is a label to it. You see it? It says bills right next to the subject. Okay, so that is creating a label. In the event we haven't created one, right?
Where do you go for the create?
To create a label. Okay. Remember, you select the email that you want to save. In this case, as I mentioned, the bill. So I just click on it. Select box. Once I click on it, you will notice at the top of the screen here, different points, right? Look for label. It's all the way down here. Okay. Once I click there, I look for the option that says create new. From here, right? So I click on create new, and then it prompts me to type in the name that I want to label it as. So I will go ahead and create another one, which will be fitness. And then I click create.
Okay.
And then that email is labeled. Now I want to go and check all these emails that I have labeled as bills for our fitness, right? So let me see if I can find another. I'll just select another email. Say, for example, here, just move. And I want to label that as bills again. I'm not going to assume that it's a bill that I need to pay. So I select the email. I go ahead and select labels. And then you'll see that those labels are now existing here, right? So you can select the labels here. So I want to put it on bills. I click bills. And then I select apply. So the label is right there next to the subject of the email. Okay. So that is how we go ahead and label or categorize our emails. Gmail considers it as labeling, but the concept is just sorting out our emails.
Yeah.
So now to search for these emails that we have sorted out, we go to the left-hand side. I go to the left-hand side to see all these options. And I will look for the label that says bills for fitness. You see it here?
Mhm.
Okay. So I will go, I want to see all those bills that I have labeled, right? I go here. And so far I have 2 emails under the bills category. So you notice here's my DigiBill, this is my Just Move bill. And that is how we go ahead and categorize emails. Again, it's just for us to be able to retrieve these bills or information easily, rather than having to go into this whole inbox and search.
And suppose I want to I put on my computer and I want to go straight to my downloads file. How do I access that?
You want to go directly to your download files.
Okay.
Okay. So this is again assuming you're on a computer, correct? I will minimize this, which is I will just remove it from the screen. Let me remove this PowerPoint as well. Okay. So this is my desktop. And our computers will differ a little bit, but what we are going to look for, what we're looking for is this little folder icon here. If you follow me, follow my mouse at the bottom of the screen, folder icon. This like a manila looking yellow folder. Okay, that is the file explorer icon. In other words, if you want to find anything saved on your computer, this is the first place you look for. Okay, so this is kind of like the door to that library. So we look for this folder and I will click on it. I will click on it. And then it takes me to that the entire library. To the left-hand side are different folders. Right? And the one we want to look for is the downloads folder, which is this one. Remember the downward arrow? That's the icon. And next to it, it says downloads. This is the one we're looking for. So I just click on that. And that should give me all those documents that I have downloaded. Important to note, right? It will give me all downloaded documents, not just from emails. Because sometimes we download documents from a website. Sometimes we download a document from an application, right? And of course, we download documents from an attachment in an email. But this is the folder where you go to get your downloaded documents. Was that helpful? Did that answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, Ms. Kareem. Good. Any other question, ladies, before we end the session?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Watson.
Let's say I got an email with a video, and I only want to view it there. I don't want it saved on my computer. How do I do that?
You just want to be able to see the video from the email.
Yes, from the email. I don't want it saved on my laptop.
Okay, for that, you can only, you see when, let me go back to my email here. Okay. I'll select this one with an attachment, right? Because it will be one with an attachment.
Yes.
If it has a video down, it will give you the option to just be able to open it.
Okay.
Click on it. Okay. Before that though, it's important to note that most of the computers already come with an application for us to be able to view videos. Right? Because for us to be able to view a video, we have to use an application or a program to open it. So like when we take a picture, we need a camera. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to music, we need a speaker and a radio or something to play the music. The same thing with the computer. It needs a program to be able to play the video. Okay, so as long as that program is installed, you will not have any problems just clicking on the video and opening it.
Okay.
Right? If it gives you a problem not opening it, then more than likely, whatever it is trying to use to open it has a problem.
So I will just click open, not download.
Not download. Download
Oh.
it if you want to save it.
Okay. I
If you
got
just
you.
want
Yeah.
to see it or listen to it or read the document, you can just click on it and open. Right?
Open. Okay.
It does not mean
Okay.
it's saved.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Okay, ladies, so our time is up, unfortunately. We went a little bit farther, but remember you all have your mentors, right? So they are there to provide you that one-to-one assistance. So if you have any other question that comes to mind, please ask them for assistance and they will be able to show you. Miss Des, if I know you had asked about using the email on your phone, right? So that would be a little bit difficult for me to show you from my side because I can only show you a screen. I'm not able to show you a mobile device. It will be a little bit difficult. So what, if it's okay, you can go ahead and ask your mentor to guide you on how to do it with your phone, right?
Okay, my dear.
Yes, please reach out to your mentor or have your mentor assist you with that. It will be more effective if he or she helps you.
Okay.
From here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of today's session. Tomorrow, we will be looking into the phone applications, right? WhatsApp, Facebook. If we have some time, then we can look into Instagram, but those would be the more common applications. And of course, Zoom, which most of you are already comfortable using it, but there are some other things that we can do with Zoom, and that's what we're going to be looking into. If not tomorrow, the Friday. Tomorrow is already Thursday.
But if there, okay, if there are no more questions, ladies, I just want to remind you again, like Miss Delsey mentioned, that your mentor will reach out to you. So if you have any questions, anything else that you want them to show you, especially with using your phone, you can ask them. And then also note that tomorrow, when Ms. Dulcie goes into those apps, it will give you a bit more clarity in terms of how to utilize your phone to do some of these same exact things, all right? So until then, have a great day, ladies. Please make sure if you have any questions, reach out to us. You can always message me. If you don't hear from your mentor, you could call the office or send me a message. I already text most of you, so you do have my number to reach me anytime, all right?
Thank you.
All right, then.
Ladies,
Thank
until
you.
tomorrow,
Bye.
Thank
be
you.
safe and take care.
Okay, then have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.